juicy topic for you today. What I'm going to say may make a few people a little upset at me, but remember, I am not speaking to any particular group. I just have to say, well, the shoe fits. So this is going to be a 3-part series because we're going to be talking about paranormal groups as a whole, the different categories, what they do, what their philosophies are. And I'm doing all this as an education toward people who may be looking for a paranormal group to help them. And we're going to see, we're even going to bring up the question, are they even necessary? So in this first part, though, we're going to be discussing paranormal researchers, parapsychologists, paranormal investigators, and ghost hunters, and what the difference is among them all. And then the next part 2 of this series, is going to be the categories of paranormal groups. And then the third part of this series will be, are paranormal investigators really necessary? And we'll kind of research that and delve deeper into that a little bit. So let's get on to point number 1. Now, paranormal investigators, there's paranormal researchers, and there's ghost hunters, and parapsychologists I put kind of more with the investigators. So what's the difference here? So let's start, as I would think, kind of the bottom of the rung, are ghost hunters. Now, ghost hunters primarily are more thrill seekers. They have a hobby, going to different places that are deemed to be perhaps haunted, perhaps not. So they tend to do ghost yards, yeah, those two, graveyards, abandoned buildings, places that are stated as being haunted, like bridges or certain areas or what have you. But the primary thing here is that they're doing it without what I would call a client, a person coming in asking them to help them. They are doing it more out of their own curiosity and just for fun, thrill seeking, perhaps catching some good evidence, whatever. But it's a free for all, and the styles of that are as varied as the ghost hunters are. So that's kind of it's funny because the paranormal investigators, if they are the serious ones, if they are real serious about their business, they don't like being called ghost hunters because it doesn't fly very well with them. The second group we're going to talk about are the paranormal investigators. Now, paranormal investigators, they go out and they may take clients. And one thing we need to remember is that these categories, they can mix and mingle, and groups can do more than one thing. So just keep that in mind, or they may mix styles up. But this is the most, I would say this is the delineation of the styles that these people choose to do. Now, having a ghost hunter go and be a paranormal investigator, that's not uncommon. They mix these two things up a lot. You'll see paranormal investigators go into people's homes and try to help them with maybe odd things that are happening around their house. And they try to collect evidence for it. And mainly they're there to tell the homeowner they're not crazy. They're trying to find evidence for that. But this same group may go out next week and just go to a graveyard or go to Bobby Mackey's. That's a notoriously haunted place. And a lot of them say it's to keep up their skills, when they do have clients, and to test out new equipment and all that kind of stuff. So there is kind of a functionality to that. And investigators, they tend to be a little more scientific about the research, because they want to be looked at as legit, for one thing. They're just not fly-by-nights running around graveyards and haunted places. So they tend to be a little bit more analytical with the information that they do collect. Then we move on to the paranormal researchers. Now, paranormal researchers, they may frequent cemeteries and haunted places, and also, have clients go to people's homes and things like that. But the whole goal of their existence here is they are more interested in the research itself, in the collecting of data. And they will have the equipment and to collect all of this, because the more equipment you have agreeing with one another as to something that may happen, the more believable and viable your evidence is, right? So the paranormal researcher some of them never do take clients. They just do their research in notorious haunted places. Okay, so that's a whole nother ball of wax. Again, these researchers may just go out ghost hunting, but usually these are not the people that are just doing it for the thrill. They really are doing it because they're very curious and they really want to know why. Okay, but then we also have parapsychologists. Now, parapsychologists, you actually can get a degree in parapsychology. That requires a lot of further higher education. There aren't many institutions of higher learning that give you an actual degree in parapsychology. I think there is one in Scotland, I believe, Edinburgh, that will do that. And then over here, I'm going to post the little differentiations here of the schools that may have something at least related to that topic. But you can get accredited or get not an actual degree, but kind of an ancillary degree that's related to parapsychology. And some undergraduate programs offer that as like an elective, to be able to study these things. But it's becoming more and more common as time goes on. So the thing is, having these different categories, it's like some seem more legit than others, right? Would agree. A bunch of teenagers running around in a cemetery with cameras and recorders and talking to the air, as opposed to a parapsychologist or a paranormal researcher. Now, like I said, researchers can also be investigators. It depends on what they're doing at the time or what their focus is at the time. They may use an investigation to hone their research skills. So, like I said, these things are in between. And like I said, some of the paranormal folks, they do get a little upset if you kind of call them something that they feel that they're not. So I hope that kind of clears things up. I think that's going to set the stage for the next 2 episodes that are to come. We're going to be delving deeper into paranormal groups, group types, I should say. And you'll see what I mean when we start delving into those. And you'll probably be able to relate to some of them that you've seen either on social media, YouTube, television, whatever it may be. And what level of drama you're willing to tolerate if you, in your already dubious house, so to speak, if you are asking for help, what are you going to, what type of group do you want floating around your house if you already think that there's something going on? So that's going to be the next topic out there. And I certainly hope that this helps a little bit. This is primarily for people who may be looking either to join a group or to have a group come to their home because they are having some difficulty. And I certainly hope by the end of these 3 sessions, you will come to some kind of valid conclusion on your own, exactly what next step you would like to take on your journey. And it's all up to you. I'm just putting the information out there. So anyway, stay curious. That's the imperative. And we will see you on the flip side.